Hey, thanks so much for stopping by my website. I wanted to do just a quick video just to give a synopsis of what Woodshop 101 for Kids is really all about, and to show you some of the projects that your kids can build within this book, and also maybe how it's a little bit different than some other books that are out there on the market that you might see at your local bookstore or maybe even online. Again, this video is not going to answer and go that in depth about the book. I want it to be just to hit the high points. If you have any other questions about Woodshop 101 for Kids, if you want to hear what other people are saying about our book, please read the information below this video. If you're not watching this video on our website, you can find this at woodworkersresource.com or also our website, woodshopforkids.com. So, briefly, just wanted to tell you why, in the first place, that I wrote Woodshop 101 for Kids. You know, I've been a woodworker for many, many years, and like most people, you like to kind of pass down the things that you're passionate about to your kids. And with woodworking, I really saw that as being a life skill that I could pass down to my kids. You know, I've got 3 very different children in personality. They all like different things, but they all have spent time with me out in the shop. And you know, I wrote Woodshop 101 for Kids many years ago. And my oldest child is now 16. I have a 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. So looking back through some of the pictures in this book, it's shocking how much they've grown up. But even through all that, what I have seen in them is, in spending time out in the shop with me, building things, using their hands, getting dirty, and making something constructive and useful, builds confidence. And I've seen that in my kids in other areas of their life. My daughter no longer really is interested in building particularly projects out in the shop with me, but she has taken those things that kind of started in the shop and progressed them into other areas and interests of hers. She's a wonderful artist. She likes to write stories. She crochets. So she's taken that creativity into other areas. My boys still like to build stuff. They've taken it kind of into a different direction, or carving now. So this is just kind of like a stepping stone. Your kids may not take woodworking and make a profession out of it, but it's something that builds a life skill. You know, we're raising a whole group of kids nowadays that, you know, in past generations knew how to use a hammer, knew how to saw a board straight. Just that a lot of times people are now having to call a handyman just to fix, you know, a bent nail or to saw a board straight. You know, basic things that our kids should learn and know. And so I wanted to teach that to my kids. And some of the woodworking books that are out there on the market, while they have some great projects, and I'm not bashing any of them, but they're really just a project book. You know, what I wanted Woodshop 101 for Kids to be is to teach those basic skills first, not just to give a project book and say, hey, here, go build this. Because what I found was that a lot of parents don't have these skills, so it's not like that they can teach these and answer these questions for their kids. So this book was written with the premise that, you know, mom and dad, you don't have, or grandparents, you don't have to have these skills in order for your kids to learn woodworking. I wrote this so that it's very basic, and you can learn right along with your kids. If you know woodworking and you're passionate about it, you've got all the tools and your setup and everything. Still, what Woodshop 101 for Kids can do is it takes the head scratching out. I've got all the projects already laid out, all the material lists, all the things that you need for every single project. It's all laid out there. So it just kind of simplifies things for you. Woodshop 101 for Kids is a 188-page book, so it's very in-depth in the projects that are in here, plus the lessons, some of the hand tool skills and things. There's also over 280 pictures. So in each project, there's multiple pictures. And back covers are laminated just for durability. A lot of times if you're out in the shop, you get sawdust, glue, and other things, it'll just wipe right off. I've gone to the extra expense to do a coil binding. This is a black metal binding that's very durable. It also allows the book to lay open flat on your workbench, so you don't have to worry about holding the book open. A lot of times a bound book you have to have something to lay on it just to keep it open to a page that you're interested in looking at. So those are just some of the little extras that, in thinking of the book and some of my frustrations in other books that I put into Woodshop 101 for Kids. Next, I want to show just what you can expect inside Woodshop 101 for Kids. It's comprised of and broken down into 21 different lessons. 14 of those are projects. Some of those you can see behind me. The rest of those lessons are all about how to use hand tools. And there's also a lesson on how to finish, how to sand, and how to properly prepare a completed project. Some of the hand tool lessons that you'll find within Woodshop 101 for Kids, how to read a measuring tape. This kind of is very useful, especially if you have a child that is just learning fractions. This puts a very practical, useful way as to why they need to learn fractions. So it actually kind of reinforces some of that as to why they would even need to learn this information. You can't measure things properly if you do not know fractions, especially if you're within the U.S. and not on the metric system. You need to know fractions. So we kind of go through and teach the basics of that, how to add fractions and subtract and things like that as well. How to properly hold a hammer. You'd be surprised how many adults don't even know how to do this. How to cut a straight line and do it every single time properly. Again, something many adults can't do. We teach how to use a hand drill. Again, this book is comprised completely of using hand tools. There's no power tools needed. So I really like to use a brace drill. And I teach exactly where to find these, what to look for, how to get them very inexpensively. This is just a very useful way and really a more practical way for a small child to learn to drill holes, and it's really cool. So there's a whole lesson on that. Then we get into actually one of the first projects, and this is very simple peg game. It teaches basic sawing skills and also how to drill holes. So, and how to lay out with the tape measure. So that's something that's very quick and easy, builds confidence. And then we move on to using some other hand tools, a block plane. Then we get into how to finish projects properly, like I stated earlier. And then one of the other basic projects that you'll be looking at building with your kids is a simple cutoff box. This is a simple way, again, to build confidence in your children. Woodworking can be frustrating if you don't have the proper tools and know how to use them. So just cutting a straight line across a board is difficult sometimes, especially when you're small. This is just a very simple, basic, useful jig that your kids can build to get a very straight cut every single time on boards. Next, we have a birdhouse. Now, again, no self-respecting woodworker can call themselves a woodworker if they have not built a birdhouse. So, obviously, this is an included project. This actually is one of the most popular projects within the book. So, we also give all the different dimensions of how to make this more adaptable to different kinds of birds. Next project within the book, again, is kind of a 2-for-1 project. If you have a son or a daughter that wants a tool caddy, carry around some of their hand tools with, we have that option. Again, my daughter was much more into art, wanting something to carry her art supplies around in, so we built an art caddy. So this is, you can customize it to go either way. Next, kind of following along those lines, is a pencil holder, a colored pencil holder. My daughter kind of wanted that to hold all of her colored pencils for her art supplies. A battleship. This is, again, one of our most popular projects. The turrets actually do swivel. Show you how to do that very simply and easily. And this is actually built just out of scrap wood. So a lot of times you can go to some of the big box stores and they have little cutoffs just free for taking. Most of the parts, and especially the wooden parts within that, came from the scrap bin. So again, one of our most popular projects. A media storage rack. This is kind of a mini bookcase that can be used for books, video games, DVDs. It's shocking how many that this small bookcase can hold. Again, this is something that is just builds confidence within that child, that they can build something, a piece of furniture that can actually stick in their room. Next, we have a workbench, which I do not have pictured in here. It's just too large. But you may ask yourself, it looks like maybe the workbench would be one of the first projects that we built. But again, it's a little bit more complicated. Each of these projects within the book, going through the hand tools and then to the simple project and then going through a little bit more of the hand tools and then to some more complicated projects. These are designed to build confidence all the way through. If you throw a really hard project in on your child, what's going to happen is you're going to be the one that ends up building it and not the child, because it's going to be above their abilities to do that. So that's lesson 18. We have a doll cradle as well. Again, not pictured here. But and then kind of the project that everybody loves. This is definitely the most popular project within the book. Our catapult is really fun to build and even more fun to use. It's built with just basic hardware parts that you can find at any big box store or hardware store. Rubber bands, a doorknob stop, some bolts and nuts and some washers, and a few wooden parts. And it's adjustable as well, so you can change the trajectory of the marshmallow. And it's got some safety features built into it as well. It's got a lock-in handle. It's also got a nail that you can put in to lock the arm down. Load it and let it go. It really goes far. Cool. Thanks so much for stopping by our website and checking out Woodshop 101 for Kids. Again, if you have any further questions about our book, please scroll down and read the information that's below this video. It's a whole lot more in depth than I can get into in just a short video. Obviously, if you're interested in purchasing Woodshop 101 for Kids, it's available in a hard copy version that can be mailed out. We mail all of our books priority mail, so it usually arrives within 2 to 4 days to your house. But if you would like it just a little bit quicker, we also do have it in a very convenient ebook version. You can download this directly to your computer. It's a PDF format, so it's very easy to use on any type of a tablet. Or you can just print them off one lesson at a time and take it to the shop and get to building. So you have both of those options available to you. So all I can say now is get in the shop and build some memories with your children. Thanks so much.